want to do in this first time for Missions Monday is I want us to begin to see that the entire Bible talks about God's plan from the nations, for the nations, from the very beginning. Now, the problem for us comes that we often think in terms of biblical perspective, in terms of probably I think there's two verses that everybody thinks of in terms of a mission mandate. The first is from Matthew chapter 28, verses 18 through 20, where Jesus says, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you, and behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." Or maybe you think of Acts 1:8. Jesus saying, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and to the end of the earth." But I actually want to take us back a lot further than that. I want us to go the whole way back to Abraham. And particularly Abraham, as he receives the covenant in Genesis 12. Let's hear these words. The Lord said to Abram, this is Genesis 12, 1 through 3, "Go from your country and from your kindred into your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Here we see the beginnings of God's chosen people, particularly in verse 1. God had chosen one man to be the father of the faithful. This doesn't mean that God doesn't have a plan for the other peoples of the earth. A matter of fact, noted missiologist Dr. Peter Kuzmic says that the election of Israel did not mean the rejection of other nations. The election of Israel was to make them the very means of salvation for the nations. God is going to work through this one people, one nation to accomplish his global purposes. Israel was going to be his beachhead or base of operations. Along with choosing this people, God blesses them. He said, "I will bless you and make your name great." Now, people think, first of all, that the blessing of land. But the blessings that they were to receive were far greater than just a piece of geography. They were blessed with the law and the prophets. Ultimately, they would be blessed with the Messiah. They are blessed with the presence and knowledge of God. Anything physical that they receive pales in comparison to the spiritual blessings God bestows on them. Why is it that God blesses them? Why does God bless anyone? He blesses, first of all, for his own glory. As a result, the recipient of God's blessing should give praise and thanksgiving back to God. God creates for himself a people of praise. He creates for himself a people that are supposed to be concerned with his glory. To be concerned with his glory is always for our good. Abraham and his offspring should have been a people who lived their lives expressing gratitude for God for the blessings that they had. Instead, as they grew in number, they forgot. They wandered away from God and they turned to idols. But what specific outcome does God have in mind here? He tells them that they will be a blessing. He says, "So that you will be a blessing. I will bless you, those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Again, Peter Kuzmic says Election is not a call to privilege, but a call to service. Israel kept forgetting this. They were blessed to be a blessing to the nations. God always intended his people to be agents of blessing. This could certainly mean material blessing, but the real aim was spiritual. They were given the law and the prophets. They, and by extension we, are to reflect God's character and goodness. It is through the law and the prophets that the knowledge of the Messiah will come. Ultimately, it is one of Abraham's offspring who will be the source of the greatest eternal blessing, Jesus the Christ. If this is true, why don't we see the people of God being blessings to the nations, especially here? One of the main reasons that we don't see the nations coming to God in the Old Testament is because the supposed people of God were rebellious and they turned elsewhere. They were supposed to be a blessing to the nations. Instead, the nations were often cursed by them. Think of this. The Egyptians, the Philistines, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Romans, the Greeks, all of them could have been blessed by the Israelites. Instead, Israel's stubborn rebellion kept them from being blessings to the nations around them. The next time we're going to go deeper into the Old Testament, look at God's continuing revelation of his plan. Thanks for watching this week, and I hope that you enjoy it, and please share this with your friends, and go ahead and subscribe to it on YouTube as well. Thanks.